All right, so we're chugging right along. We are on to the third and final Dragon Ball Heroes Red Zone stage versus our good boy CUMBER. CUMBER is a interesting boss in the fact that he has an AoE, he can stun you, and I read somewhere that he can crit against you, but I don't know if that was true or not. I remember I was in a VC, just kind of like when the banners went live, everyone was someone doing their thing, and then someone said something about CUMBER being able to crit you. So if that's true, you know, feel free to let me know. But if you know, I'm just talking out of my ass, you can also feel free to let me know about that too. So what makes this guy tricky? You guys just saw it. He can stun you with that super attack. So, you know, if he does a super in the first slot, that can be a bit frustrating, as, you know, you might have your damage dealer in slot 1. But the way that Dokkan tends to want you to play the game is to put your designated tank / not damage dealing unit in slot 1. So if you want to go ahead and stun Gamma 1, fine, so be it. If you want to stun Android 8, go ahead, whatever. He's not there for damage anyway, but when you stun, say, like Namek, I keep messing up my Gokus. There's like 3 Gokus on the team, but if you want to stun Kid Goku, if you want to stun Carnival Goku, if you want to stun the LR Gods, that's where things get frustrating, right? So I know what you're thinking as you're watching this, like, why aren't you linking Android or the LR Gods with God Goku? And the answer is pretty simple. We're just trying to get the rotation of Kid Goku and Android 8 together as soon as possible. If that means we got to take like a 50k normal with Android 8, I'm willing to bite the bullet on that, just to make sure we get that rotation set up, because Android 8 is so dependent on Kid Goku being around to really make that defensive ability of his go crazy. So, you know, we want to make sure that we do have Android 8 running around with Kid Goku, so that's why he's in slot 2. I bite the bullet here and take the 43k normal, which still isn't even really that bad, especially when you have like 550k HP. It's not great. I'm not saying that was like tanky or anything, but when you're thinking about the scale of the red zone, is like if you're not taking 130k from a normal, you're like, okay, I'll take that, fine. What we're just aiming to do here is let the so many G's. Gamma stack up, Carnival Goku stack up. We want to have Android 8 make sure he has his damage reduction, let the LR God stack up a little bit, and then let God Goku do his thing and Android 8 do his thing and just tank, right? So we're getting some respectable damage right here from our guy Gamma 1. This is a friend one. I want to say this one was 2 dupes. Because for one of the runs, I did not get the dev one that was rainbowed. I got one that had a 2 dupes in it. So maybe the fact that it's doing 7 million means it's rainbow, but I already forget. Like, we got the run done, right? So whatever the dupe level was, it was enough. So with this one, what kind of makes things a little bit tricky, it's like Phase 2 has an AoE, but he's AGL, so really you're fine. The only unit that's at type disadvantage is Gamma 1 and Piccolo, but they both have guard to kind of counteract that, so it's not really a big deal. Then when you get to the last phase, it's kind of more of the same, but he can stun you in all 3 phases, so that is where things are tricky with this boss. But again, this is like, you know, in the first video I said this is like baby, I'd say, with difficulty, not as in like easy, with like the baby could do it, as in like, you know, red zone baby. It's one of the easier sets, right? Because like when you think about there's like tiers to the red zone, right? Like you got the free ones like Legic, Mr. Baby. I know Legic is scary, but you know, you'll get through it. You got like the tiers like Legic at the bottom, where it's just like you could literally beat it with like a low class Warriors team before the Bardock celebration. You got the next tier, which I'd say is like the baby level, the Mecha Frieza and King Cold level, where you can get caught, but overall you should be able to beat it within a couple of days if you get unlucky. And then, you know, maybe I'd say Omega is a tier on his own, and then above that is like the Broly level, the Metal Cooler Core level, where it's just not, it's just, you really do have to depend on a lot of things, right? And when you look at the context of something as a no item run like I am here, it does make things a little bit different for how you're going to evaluate the difficulty of the stage, right? Having a Whis around, or having the ability to double Whis, this game is just easy, right? Like, just inherently speaking, you can get through a lot of difficult stuff when you have a double Whis in your back pocket. Like when you think about the Red Zone Broly stage, when you get to the AoE phase, just double Whis and every unit is tanking, right? Like, you are not going to die if you have a double Whis. So just being able to do that alone is such a get out of jail free card that you just can't understate how important it is to just like succeeding within this game, right? But then, you know, like, if we just want to talk about echelons of difficulty while we're going through this run, it's just like Selmax is just completely on a plateau of his own, right? Like, just the ability to, like, not being able to Whis, not being able to do anything but Senzu Beans, which essentially, Senzu Beans aren't even there to help you live, right? They're just there to unlock you, really. And locking is the most, other than dodging, because there's literally nothing you can do, I'd say that locking is the most annoying thing a boss can do. I'd say dodging is more annoying because, like, an item can't save it, and you can't play around a dodge, right? You can't nullify the attack. You can't stun him. You can't seal a dodge. You just, like, you can't disable a dodge like the enemy can do to you. And, like, you know, say you have, like, this strategy that's all based around this big nuke with, like, the LR gods or something like that, where you're doing, like, an 11 million attack stat, and that nullifies the enemy's attack, and then he just dodges it and then does a super on you, right? I'd say that's probably the most frustrating thing that a boss within this game can do. But overall, you know, it's just how the game is played, right? I think the core, like, the principle of what Dokkan is overall entirely is just every aspect of the game is RNG, right? You talk about the summons, you talk about super attack luck with your sleeping Kais, we talk about just the gameplay itself. What attacks are a super? Do you get the stun? Do you get locked? Do you get sealed? Do you get the seal, right? Some things are guaranteed, right? Like, some units have guaranteed steals on super attacks, but can the enemy disable being sealed? Can he disable being stunned? Is he like immune to that? Is your unit effective against all types? Do you get that guard chance? Like, you know what I'm saying? Every aspect of this game in some way, shape, or form is back on RNG, right? So when you kind of realize that and go around playing it, it just makes things a lot more difficult, or it just makes a lot more sense, right? Like, if we just want to talk about something like Extreme Super Battle Road or Super Battle Road, what makes Super Battle Road easy is these days 8 items. Like, are you kidding me? 8 items makes everything free. It's like, you pop a Whis in the first fight, you try to get through it in 2 turns, then you pop like a Princess Snake or something like that just in case. You bring an Icarus the next fight, you run out of HP, you just pop an Android 8 real quick, you got a support memory going on each fight. It's just easy inherently, right? But that's where I like the balance of the red zone, right? You get 2 items in total, so you get to use a Whis twice, and you got to think about it. When should I use this Whis? Is this the right time? Should I double Whis on this just to get through this turn, make sure we don't die? Like, there's a lot of things that go into it, right? I think that's where the mental game of Dokkan comes in, and I think that's what makes it fun. Like, you know, you talk about something that's easy, like, you know, you want to look at the core of the game where you're popping bubbles, right? But there's just so much more that goes into popping the bubbles. Like, I know that sounds like copium in a way, but it's like, you got to think about it, right? Where do these orbs give me enough ki to proc this passive? Do these heal me up enough with HP? Do these rainbow orbs give me a certain effect? Do I need a certain amount of rainbow orbs to proc a part on my passive? You know, do I get like a defensive support if I grab these amount of orbs and stuff like that? So it's like, really overall, I'd say that just that kind of is what makes it fun, right? But anyway, I went on a huge tangent there, but let's get back into the red zone stage at hand. This is the physical stage of Cumber, so we are obviously in phase 3. This does take a bit, but this one is the 10 turn mission as well, so I guess we'll just title this one No Item Run and 10 turns in the same go. I didn't even realize that I did that. I just kind of went in blind. Excuse me. But I think, honestly, if I would have known that it was 10 turns, like, I would have started getting nervous, like, ooh, you know. Because maybe I did clear it. Yeah, I definitely cleared it in 10 turns on the dot, huh? Because I still got to do the Heroes mission. And then here we go. Because I think Carnival Goku right here, he gets a double super. Because his attack stat's like pretty respectable. I'm like, I want to say with him we're at like almost like 7 million or something like that. And was it this one? No, I think we revived in the Fuse stage. Yeah, so 7.4 is pretty good. Then I think he does an additional for 4 million. And with everything he's doing with the guard, the revival, the stacking, like, that's just like, you know, if we want to call a Vegeta and Trunks a better version of Tech Gohan, I'd say that Carnival Goku is also pretty close to that same criteria, right? With a revival at hand at the same time, right? So this is where you're going to see Carnival Goku get exposed a little bit. You know, he's not perfect defensively, and this is a red zone boss, so 309k right there with the guard or whatever, but, you know, it is what it is. He's not perfect. I don't think any unit in this game is perfect. Almost every single unit in the game has a flaw, right? So we are coming up on the end of this here. We do end up getting the Dokkan attack with our boy Android 8, which sucks. Just because, like, you know, you're not really getting any true damage out of that, right? And then the way these orbs kind of played out is also unfortunate because we're stuck right here with this this setup, right, where it's just like Or do I put now? Because what I could do if I was feeling risky, I could have put Gamma in slot 1 and then got the Dokkan attack with Gamma, right? But that was just like, I'm like, I don't have the balls for that. I can't do it. Like, if he takes that super attack, I don't think that's a guaranteed win because he doesn't have his guard anymore, right? So here we go. So obviously with this Dokkan attack, we are going to get some free damage in, and then our boy Kid Goku is going to go ahead and do some finishing touches, and then if Kid Goku does not get the kill, Gamma 1 surely will, right? Like, as long as there's no dodging or anything, any funny business like that, this is a free win, right? So that was all 3 of the Red Zone stages here for the Dragon Ball Heroes Red Zone. Definitely easier than the Wicked Bloodline set, but that was kind of to be expected. We didn't like. I'm sure that I speak for a lot of us when we thought that's like this will probably be some sort of in between. I'd be shocked if this was harder than the Wicked Bloodline Red Zone, just because it was like based around like mission. Like if you want to do a mission where you have to clear it with heroes characters, you can't make it as hard as the Metal Cooler Core, right? It just that team just can't do it like that, right? So that was all of the Red Zone no item runs. This was also 10 turns for Cumber. Let me know what you guys think down below. How'd you guys beat the stage? Did you use a heroes team? Did you use a regular team? Let me know down below. Don't forget to leave a like if you did enjoy, and subscribe if you are new so you don't miss out on Dokkan content like this. I'm signing out.